So, without a doubt, there is a lot to unpack this episode. But one of the things that I keep saying kind of week over week and each and every week so far over the past 5 weeks for the past 5 episodes of More Than a Married Couple is I really think that this anime here, I really think that this is the standout romance anime of the fall season. Because when I really think about all the different anime that are in this fall season, like even if we have like Urusei Yatsura, we have Reincarnated as a Sword, and then we have Villainous. So I would really think that the Villainous anime, Bibliophile Princess, and More Than a Married Couple, those are probably the 3 anime of the fall season that I think are in the romance genre. And I really think that out of all of them, that I really feel like this is probably the standout one in the very specific way. Not saying it's the best out of the 3, because I really think that that's not the case. It's really hard to pinpoint because I really love all 3 of these anime. But I think in the specific genre of just pure romance, I really think that this anime is the standout one. And it's because for me, this, in thinking about the anime, this has what I would call a traditional romance anime. Typical traditional romance anime, if we think about, Toradora, if we think about Suzuhara, if we think about some of the older anime, even if we think about like Horimiya or other anime, My Dress Up Darling even, the typical, I don't want to call it trope because that undersells it, but the typical tried and true way to do romance is high school setting, high school, maybe college, but for the most part, high school setting, finding love for the first time, or really kind of feeling these types of feelings for the first time. And I really think that that's what More Than a Married Couple really is nailing down. So there's a lot to unpack this episode. So I think the main thing that I want to really hone in on is Akari is falling hard, and she's having to really deal with all of these feelings that she has. Now, these feelings are, in a way, being reciprocated by our boy Jirou. But because he still has Shiori kind of like top of mind, he stops himself in his tracks in a lot of different ways. And at the end of the day, although Akari has probably had a lot of boys' attention for a long time, the opposite, and this happens to a lot of men, the opposite is true for Jirou, as, he really hasn't attained a lot of notoriety and attention from other girls or other ladies in the past. The only one who's really given him the time of day before is Shiori. That's why he's, she's his best friend. Like that's how they have their past, their childhood past and everything. So that's really like when he thinks of, the perfect girl, he kind of has this one girl in his mind because she's kind of been the always one that is there. Now he has attention from somebody else, so he's kind of trying to work through those emotions and feelings, and also work through the fact that he's not 100% certain if this attention is because of these task-oriented things. Is it because she's trying to get close to this Manami guy, or is it truly because of him? And, there's some truth in all 3 of those categories, but in reality, a lot of her actions are based on her and him specifically, which I really dig that quite a bit. And those feelings became they became really evident this episode in 2 specific moments, okay? 3 specific moments. So the first specific moment was when Jirou was when he was doing the after-class cleanup with Shiori, right? They got assigned to do the after-class cleanup, put the chairs away, get the whiteboard, all that stuff. And he was there spending time with Shiori. Now, we'll talk about Shiori in a minute, but in that moment, Akari went to go find Jirou, to do, I'm not really sure what she was finding him for, go home, ask a question, do something, but she went to go find him. And in that moment when she saw him with Shiori, she immediately felt some type of way. Now that was 100,000,000% jealousy. That's what that was. She questions like, why am I hiding? It's because she was jealous in that moment and she wanted to kind of peek as opposed to just kind of be like, hey, I'm here. So that was the first moment. The second moment was when she went outside, kind of aftermath stuff. They're spending time looking at the sky, and then she kind of really brought up the fact that he doesn't call her Akari, and she really didn't let that go. And she even slipped up and was like, yo, I can't be the only one who likes you by saying your name. You need to say it back to me, kind of thing. And even in Jirou was like, what you mean? And in that moment, so she kind of slipped up in that moment too. But again, those feelings are 100% reciprocated, and it's just the way that the way that they're working through them are very different. So that's kind of the second moment. And then the third moment was how we kind of ended the episode with Akari getting frustrated at Jirou, right? Like, touch me, feel me. Like, she's putting the moves, she's putting herself out there, and she knows he's stopping himself from going above and beyond, in a sense. And in her head, she's thinking it's because of Shiori. In his head, he's thinking, like, I just need to calm myself down and not be, the Japan's top virgin kind of thing. So he's not necessarily thinking about Shiori in that specific moment, but he does. I love the fact that he did kind of lose control in that moment, and he almost went in. He almost kind of let loose for a second, which I really would have loved to see, but obviously he definitely got a nosebleed. But regardless, after the math, you could tell Akari is falling hard because she even begins to love his sen. And if I'm sure all you guys know, you're gonna love your significant partner's scent. It's just it's something that's very unique to them, and you may not crave it, or something weird. It may not be like a fetish thing to you, but it's something that it's calming. Eventually when you get to that point, and I love how she's kind of already at that point. So overall, this episode was absolutely fantastic. I love how Akari's kind of realizing that Jirou might be more significant than this ghost of a person that she's been chasing. Her friends even call her out, like, yo, do you like Jirou? You know what I mean? Like, are you going after him, kind of thing? She's like, oh, that's the type of guy you like. And she's kind of saying no, but at the end of the day, like, even her friends are noticing. So I think that is pretty important, as well. So I definitely love all of this that's coming by. Now, from the flip side, I'll just touch on Jirou really, really fast. I love how he took command this episode, with the studying stuff. Akari was like, yo, I'm going to go karaoke. These boys invited us, blah, blah. And he basically said, in not these many words, the fuck you ain't. He said, nah, you ain't going. We are going home. And she was like, I was invited by boys. He was like, I'm a man inviting you. You're coming home. And she was like, okay, you know what I mean? So all he needs to do is just grow a pair, take control, and she'll follow in line. And I love it. She's like, okay, yeah, okay, I'll go do that, Daddy Jirou. And she even called him sensei and everything too. I was like, go Jirou, go. The last thing I'll say is Shiori. I love how her friend called her out. She was like, hey, Shiori, just go confess to this dude already. And I love that, again, it's one of those very tropey things to where everybody sees that these two people like each other, but then they don't see it, or they have convinced themselves that they both don't have these feelings. So I love how Shiori's friend, the pink hair girl, I don't know what her name is again, I forgot. But I love how she's like, yo, Shiori, just go kiss him. Just go make it known. And I'm like, yes, that's the type of friend that you need. Go get her. But overall, top virgin Japan, Jirou over here, still protected. Love Akari. She's awesome. She's cute. And I love how she's finding out her feelings. And in the same vein, I love how Jirou is kind of like getting more brave and working towards things, and things that typically aren't normal are becoming more normal to him. So he's going to get desensitized to that kind of stuff, which is good because he's going to be able to act on it later. So very good episode overall. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. Let me know what you think is the best romance fall anime in the comments. Is it this one, or is it one of the other ones I mentioned, or is it one that I'm not even watching right now, maybe like Love Flops or something like that? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.